the webinar. Okay, so if you don't want to show your face in the recording, please just turn off your video. But if you don't mind, please turn on your video so we can see each other. Okay, we got quite a few people coming. Okay, so yeah, first of all, welcome everyone to the webinar. So Jake and myself gonna talk about some tips for teaching and marketing for independent teachers. We've been planning for this webinar for a few months and we had to push it back because we get so busy, and we feel like we have to do it before 2023. We need to talk about it and get teachers ready for 2023, and hopefully you guys can get some great tips and takeaways from this webinar. So how this webinar is structured? Yeah, I'm seeing a lot of comments. Julia from SW Scotland. Okay, Barbara in the UK on the 21 challenge. Okay, Barbara, welcome. Kate Toulouse in France. Sigran, if I mispronounce your name, forgive me. Okay, I'm really bad at it. I'm really bad at it. South Africa. Hey Jennifer. Hey Jennifer, how are you? London, dates from South Africa. Bolivia, that's great. Hey, Serbia, all right. Brazil, okay, we got pretty wide coverage. We can see that. Yeah, so we got quite a few people joining. So again, feel free to use the chat to let us know where you're from right now, where are you in right now, and network with each other. So about this webinar, how we're gonna structure it. We're gonna start with a brief introduction of both of us, Jake and myself, just so you know, because we're getting kind of audience from both sides. We want to introduce ourselves very quickly, and then I have prepared some slides I want to share with you guys about marketing, and that's where my expertise is. Then I will turn it to Jake. Jake gonna talk about teaching the material preparation. That's where he's good at. Okay, so Jake, if you don't mind, I'm gonna get started first, introduce myself. Okay,
yeah,
good. Yeah, so I know some of you are from Jake's side. No, you're a franchise customer. So if you don't know me, you're not familiar with my background. My name is James, James Liu. So I'm originally from China, and then I came to the States after college about 15 years ago, and since then I stayed in academia for 10 years, did my PhD, got my MBA, did my postdoc, and then I made a transition to managed consulting in about 2017, and then worked with like a big corporates, pharmaceutical companies, medtech companies, focusing on their marketing, sales, pricing strategies. I was doing that for 2 years, and in about 2018, at that time I was working with my English teachers online, and then about 2 teachers, actually more than 2 teachers, 2 of my teachers kind of were complaining about the market at that moment. The rate is dropping, and they're not getting enough students. And then because I had some marketing background, I was like, okay, I might be able to help you. So I started working with my own English teachers in 2018 for like a few months, and they're seeing much better results. I feel like, okay, actually I have something to offer here, and a lot of very basic things to me, and they can benefit a lot in their business. They're getting more students. They're actually increasing the price at the moment. So that was kind of one of the inspirations for me to consider, okay, I might be able to start business based on this and helping more teachers. And the two teachers I worked with at them in 2018, they were actually also encouraging me to think about this. So that's kind of one of the reasons I started a business in January 2019, really focusing on helping ESL teachers about marketing, sales, and also teaching, mindset, all that, to help them go independent and get students online and charge a higher rate. So since then, the team has been growing, and we have about 20 people on the team right now helping teachers. We've helped over 4,000 teachers in the past 4 years. So things are getting really great with the business. We're getting really great results for the teachers. So that's one of the reasons I'm here too, to share a little bit about marketing, something like very quick, can help you make some differences in your marketing. So yeah, if you don't know me, you haven't followed me, please, I'll share my LinkedIn, Facebook, follow me, and at the end I will also share some free stuff and there's some courses if you want to take action and work with us. Okay, so this is me. I'll pass back to Jake. Jake, please.
Sure. Yeah. Thanks, James. Thanks for the introduction there. So yeah, some of you might know me already just from Fluentize, if any of you guys are Fluentize users on here. So for those of you who don't know me, my name is Jake. I'm the creator of Fluentize.com. I'm also a longtime English language teacher. I've been teaching for about 10 years, and Fluentize was kind of born from my own private teaching practice with my own students. I'll get into that a little bit more during my time of the presentation. But I'm from the USA, from Bethlehem, Pennsylvania, and then I relocated to Prague, where I started teaching. And I've been teaching ever since. And I also work as a TEFL course observer in Prague for a TEFL certification course. So I do a couple different things in the ELT community, and Fluentize is my biggest project yet, and I'm looking forward to going through some of the ways that you guys can to help you guys as teachers make an impact on your students using ELT materials and using the Fluentize materials so that both you and your students can get the most from your lessons. And so I'm going to pass it over to James now, who's going to give you his phase of the presentation here and some marketing strategies that can help you to gain some of your own students for your own private clientele in the future.
Thank you, Jake. Yes, just one question in the chat. Yes, we're gonna send out the recording for you guys. If you have to leave early or if you join late, we're gonna send the recording. And speaking of teaching materials, that has been a big hurdle to many independent teachers. That's why I really want to collaborate with the businesses like Fluentize to offer the type of services and help teachers so they are confident in what they're offering and they have great materials that can deliver results. Okay, just so you know, I'm a little bit sick today. I don't want to miss the webinar, so I'm having this cough sugar thing, like candy in my mouth, to prevent me from coughing. Okay, all right.
At least you can't get us sick.
Yeah, that's true. I got it from my daughter. I was like picking her up, and then when I got home, I started sneezing. I was like, oh my God, I got something from her. But she's fine. Like this morning, she was like, everything's fine. I was like a coughing. But anyways, yeah, thank you, Wen. Good. So keep the chat flowing. You know, if you have questions, drop it there. We're gonna definitely get back to you and answer the questions. Okay. So I'm gonna share my screen with you guys. So I prepared like 20 slides, and I'm gonna finish it in about 15 to 20 minutes, so I can give enough time to Jake share his. Okay, so already let me see here, slideshow. So already introduced myself a little bit already here. So I'm not gonna repeat. And we have helped over 4,000 teachers in the past 4 years, and many of them have increased their rate to over $100 an hour. So if this is new to you, you might feel like, oh my God, is that possible? Yeah, it is possible to charge that much if you do it correctly. And I'm gonna share a little bit today to help you. Some of them also quit their full-time job and become fully independent. Sorry. Okay. So I'm gonna talk about these 3 steps. So I was thinking, okay, what should I talk about today? When it comes to marketing, I was thinking, okay, so I probably gonna spend hours and hours talking about the strategies, the tactics we use to get students online, market your business. But I really feel like for 15, 20 minutes, I want to focus on the fundamental to help you understand the system, okay? So we call it 3-step marketing and sales system. So basically, sorry, let me do this, okay? Yeah, basically it's connecting the 3 steps. Basically, it's connect, nurture, and convert. Okay, the 3 steps when it comes to marketing your business and getting your own students online. 3 steps. So let me explain what it is. So connect is kind of very obvious, right? In order to sell your services, in order to get students, you need to let them know you first. Like they need to know, okay, who James is, who Jake is. So that's the first step. Connect with your potential students so they know about you and your business. Okay, that's the first step. It doesn't matter what you do, right? That's first step. You need to let people know you, right? Before they can make a decision whether or not they want to work with you. So that's the connect. And once people connect with you, does not mean, okay, I met James today, I met Jake today, I'm just going to invest in things or I'm going to buy stuff from them. It's not. It takes a lot of time to nurture them, nurture your potential students so they trust you and want to work with you. So this takes really long. Sometimes can be quick, sometimes light through, depending on people. No, we have clients, we have teachers that follow me 4 years. Eventually, they want to take action, right? And we have clients who found about me like through Facebook ads yesterday. They already got into the course we offer. So it takes time and really, I think individual dependent, but this is a very important step. So when you connect with people, they don't like buy your courses, buy your lessons. Don't feel like disappointed. Oh, I connect with so many people, they're not taking action and buy stuff from me. So it takes time to nurture them, to build trust, to deliver, to help them understand you're the best, to help them, right? So they trust you and want to work with you. So that's nurture, the second step. The last step, convert. Convert is kind of a sales step. Convert your potential students so they pay you and join your program. So you connect with them, you nurture them, get them ready. They feel like, oh, I want to work with you, right? And then you're gonna do sales. You're gonna follow the sales process to convert them. Okay, in order to work with me, these are the options. Or hey, can you get this program? You introduce your offers, then they pay you. They become your paying students, right? So these 3 steps: connect, nurture, convert. It doesn't really matter how you market your business. You use social media, you use email. It doesn't matter what you do, these 3 steps, you have to really understand it. To help you understand it a bit more, I want to explain it and use social media marketing. So how does this system apply on social media, right? I prepared 4 platforms, like very popular platforms where our clients are getting students from. So I'm gonna kind of go through these 3 steps one more time with each platform, how you can actually follow these 3 steps on the social media platform to connect and nurture your audience, right? So let's start with the LinkedIn. So LinkedIn is a very popular platform for teachers who want to get students who are business professionals, adults, students, okay? And this is a very kind of professional network. There are a lot of people, professionals from all different industries, very active on LinkedIn. And if your niche, or if you're looking for adult students, business professionals, and you teach business English, and LinkedIn can be a great place. Okay, so then if we are on LinkedIn, let's say if we are on LinkedIn today, and we want to get students from LinkedIn, so then you think about these 3 steps: connect, nurture, convert, and how this is going to be applied to LinkedIn. So first of all, connect. On LinkedIn, it doesn't matter which platform, right? You need to think about the features available. So all the platforms have different features. And on LinkedIn, in order to connect with others, right? One of the very important feature LinkedIn has, other platforms might not have, is filters. Okay, we use filters a lot on LinkedIn. And LinkedIn filters, you can actually select which industry, what title, company, location. You can use these filters to find people you want to connect. For example, my niche, I want to, let's say, I want to find more students from IT. I know there are a lot of IT professionals who want to improve their English, want to get a better job, want to work abroad, right? I want to find more IT professionals, probably let's say IT professionals in Brazil. Okay, then you go on LinkedIn, you set the filters, industry, IT, location, Brazil. You click on search, boom. So everyone in IT industry and living in Brazil show up in the filter, the search results, and then you can just connect with them, right? So this is how you connect with filters. And the other one can be very also effective is the groups. So there are a lot of LinkedIn groups. There are like groups for IT professional in Brazil, like supporting groups on LinkedIn. You can join these groups. Once you join these groups, you get to see all the members who are in the groups, and you can take a look at their title. You will figure out who is from IT, who know which one might be potentially interested in your service. You connect with them, right? Company pages, because it's a professional network, social media platform. I guess most of the companies in the world has a company page. Once you get on their company page, let's say, oh, I've got a lot of clients from Microsoft in Brazil. Then you go to Microsoft's like a business page, and then you look for people in Brazil, right? And you're gonna have a bunch of people living in Brazil work for Microsoft. And hashtags, a lot of people post with hashtags, and if they are like in this industry, they're gonna post with hashtag that are related to the industry. That can also be another way for you to find people to connect. Again, we're still in the connect step here, okay? Connect, and then nurture. So once people connect with you, they accept your connection request, they're your first degree connection, they're connected with you, right, on LinkedIn. How are you gonna nurture them? Because not everyone connect with you, they take a look at your profile, they feel like, oh, I need to work with you. No, most people don't, right? And then you're gonna use posts to nurture. That's why our clients are posting very regularly, every like 3 times a week, every day. Some clients even post. So posts to engage with your audience, like people already connect with you, and also set your authority, let people see that you can help them. That's post. It's about content marketing, right? And direct messages. So this means you can send people messages. You can message them, if they interact with you, you can message them, ask around, try to engage with the people already connect with you. Like direct messages, you can send them messages on LinkedIn if they already connect with you, which is great, okay? And then you can also do like LinkedIn events live. It's kind of very effective right now. If you go live, people see you, interact with you. That's another way to nurture. Okay. So about convert, I'm not gonna talk about it because convert is a sales process, right? It doesn't matter where you got these people. In the convert step, it's the same. You do the sales, you sell them your program, you sell them the lessons, you point them to your landing page. That's all the same, convert, okay? So about connect and nurture on LinkedIn. So this is kind of a, kind of a very brief overview how you do it. Again, so these 3 steps, right? I wanted to use LinkedIn to help you guys understand even more what does it mean by these 3 steps. So this is LinkedIn. And what about Facebook? Okay, Facebook is still the #1 social media platform in terms of active users, monthly active users. I know a lot of people don't like Facebook, but still it's a great place for you to get students, okay? So these 3 steps on Facebook, connect. So how can you connect with the potential students on Facebook? There are many ways. The first one we recommend our clients to do is to use others Facebook groups. So there are a lot of Facebook groups, right? Let's say if you target lawyers and there are lawyer groups, you just get into the lawyer groups, you see a bunch of lawyers, right? Then you interact with them, engage with them, you can send them a friend request to connect with people from your niche, right? If you are doing exam preparation, TOEFL, IELTS, there's so many like supporting groups like that, right? You can even start your own group, right? Get in these groups, interact with people, right? So one thing you have to be careful with is with the other people's groups, you don't want to sell anything, right? You get kicked out right away if you sell things. It's more like engaging, let people see you, right? Facebook business pages, you can have a page and people can follow you. Pay advertising is also a big thing on Facebook. You can run ads, let people see you, right? Then to connect and then nurture. So Facebook, your own Facebook group is a great place. It's kind of an important place for you to nurture. So you connect with a lot of people on Facebook, and then you want to get them to your own group. So once they are in your own group, you will be able to see them, you will be able to message them, you will be able to post, and they are still see your posts, right? And you can message them. And another thing is Facebook Live events. So usually we recommend that you can go live in your Facebook group regularly, like once a month, twice a month, to nurture. Okay, so this is Facebook. I hope the understanding of the 3 steps is better, even better now. So on Instagram, as you can see, right? So the principles are the same: connect, nurture, convert, and the strategies we use on different social media platforms really based on the features that are available on the social media. Okay, for example, Instagram, the hashtag is a big thing on Instagram. That's really the main way for people to find content on Instagram. So they need to do hashtag search. Let's say you teach IELTS, then you can use IELTS hashtags to find people who follow the hashtag, right? IG Reels, that's a short video. It's quite popular right now. It works very effectively to generate leads, to get people to connect with you if you have really good reels, like short videos, and pay advertising. So it's also another one. IG shoutouts. So if you don't know what this is, it's basically because Instagram is a big place for influencers, and then you can do like collaboration. You can ask other influencers to post your stuff to introduce you. For example, you help lawyers, right? Lawyers, and then there's a big account, like a big influencer on Instagram that a lot of lawyers follow, but this account does not do the same thing as you do. And then that account is willing to talk about you, like post your stuff, boom, so many more people are gonna see you, right, and follow you. So that's called big Instagram shoutouts. So nurture on Instagram, you can do posts, story, reels. This kind of content marketing. You have to be more consistent with this content, right? So people can see your content, you can remind them, can nurture them, and you can also message people and your Facebook group. So you might be surprised, why Facebook here? So because Instagram does not have the community, it cannot give you the community. We actually recommend our clients to direct their connections, like the followers, to their Facebook groups where they can nurture. Okay, so that's a very common strategy when you are marketing your business on Instagram. So the next one, TikTok. TikTok is something new. It's not that new, but it's still like new compared to the other 3. And if you teach exam, if you teach English, I mean, it's a great place to be on, making short videos, get a lot of followers, and then promote your lessons, right? So to connect, you can do hashtag search, find people to connect with them, like and comment on their posts, on their videos. You can make short videos, and then if your video go viral, you get a lot of followers, right? You can also do paid advertising on TikTok. On nurture, short videos, direct message, and again, your Facebook group, because TikTok, right now, TikTok doesn't have this community, but Douyin, the Chinese version, already have the community. So I guess they're gonna launch the community in the future with TikTok, but right now we still use Facebook group to nurture the leads, like people you connect with on TikTok. Oh, there's another one, YouTube, very quickly. So YouTube, usually we don't recommend at first because it takes much longer to grow your audience, and you have to be very consistent with the posting. So right now, to connect, the only thing you can do is really work on the SEO of your videos. SEO stands for search engine optimization. So basically, think about this when you go on YouTube, and if you are looking for some videos, then you use a searching engine, right? Just put down the keywords, and then the ranking of the videos is determined by the SEO. So how relevant, how YouTube think the most relevant ones, they go first, right? So then you have to work on your SEO. So make sure when people use the keywords, you can show up in the front, right? So that's SEO. And YouTube Shorts, so that's a new thing. I think YouTube launched to kind of compete with the TikTok, IG Reels, short videos. and also you can do pay advertising on YouTube. So nurture, you have to be very consistent with launching long videos, YouTube Shorts, and Facebook group. Again, Facebook group is another place you want to direct people to your group so that you can nurture them. So I can very quickly talk about these 5 platforms following these 3 steps. I hope you have better understanding of these 3 steps. So even like tomorrow, there's a new platform, new social media platform. You get on it, then you're not clueless. Okay, how can I use this social media platform? You still think about these 3 steps: connect, nurture, convert. Okay, so this new platform, what features I can use to get myself in front of my audience, to connect the right people, right? What features I can use to nurture my audience, right? So this is how you're gonna do it, and you have to remember the 3 steps so you don't get lost. And there are a lot of things happening, so many platforms, and people do all different things. But if you can remember the 3 steps, you're gonna be way ahead of them. Okay. A couple more tips very quickly. So when choosing social media platforms for marketing, some of you might have these questions. Okay, there's so many platforms. What should I do? Like, if I want to get started, which platform should I use? So I have some tips here. I would recommend that you choose the platform based on your niche. So which platform is going to be the easiest one for you to find your niche, engage with them, right? For example, if you teach children, and then LinkedIn might not be the best place because it's really hard to find, parents, right? But Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok can be a great place, because their features allow you to find parents. So I have to really think about the niche. And the second one here, don't start with too many platforms and focus on 1 or 2 at first. Okay, a lot of people, a lot of teachers I work with, they are on all the social media platforms, and then they don't have time, they don't know how to manage, nothing's working. Okay, you want to focus on 1 or 2 to make it work, and then expand. LinkedIn is better for professional niches. Facebook and Instagram are better for children and preparation niches. And Instagram and TikTok have a lot of potential with short video marketing at the moment. So we're getting a lot of traction on Instagram and TikTok right now with the short video form content. So one of our clients got, let's say, from 20K followers to 200K followers on Instagram in just 6 weeks, because she's posting IG Reels every single day, right? So these are the kind of, it's a good time to try things like that, okay? So yeah, so this, I think it's almost my 20 minutes now. If you feel like what I said makes sense, and you want to be more systematic to learn how to do this, we do have this 21 day challenge that we're running every month. So what happens with the 21 day challenge is, I think a lot of people who are watching right now already done the 21 challenge. So it's a group training. We graduated close to 4,000 teachers now in the past 3 years, and it's like a flagship, like our signature product. And you work with me and my team closely for 21 days. And what happens is you receive daily videos and exercises every day to learn marketing, sales, and the niche teaching. And we answer your questions and host live Q&As in the group to guide you through the challenge. The next round starts on the first day of the next month of the next year. Okay, January 1st, 2023. So if you feel like, oh, I can do this, right? There's a affiliate link with the Fluentize 35% discount. I'm gonna share in the chat if you guys want to grab it. So then it's gonna be $127 instead of $197 market price. Okay. If you are not ready to take action, feel like, oh, James, please nurture me more. I'm not ready to take action, right? Read a book. I have a free book. You just need to go on this website and request a free copy. It really can help you understand the niche teaching, marketing, sales. It's a great book, 54 pages. You can finish in two hours. Okay. Thank you. That's all my part. If you have questions, I will answer it. And we're gonna have a Q&A at the end. So answer your questions, right? I hope this makes sense. It's kind of a quick, short kind of presentation about a very important thing. I hope you got a lot of takeaways from it. All right, so now I'm gonna pass it back to Jake.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, thanks, James, for that. That's really informative and helpful. And I think I think a lot of teachers that's something that they struggle with is finding students and finding students to pay the value of the teacher that we think that we're worth. And so a program like this is really helpful. I know I struggled with it for years. Learning how to find students. Most of mine was by word of mouth, and that's really effective as well. But yeah, to find really dig and find those right clients where you can, really up your value, up your charges. It takes a lot of time. It's really hard. And so that's really useful stuff. So thanks for sharing that, James. I'm going to get into my section now. So let me just open up the presentation here. And so. Okay, so let's say you follow James's program for the Teacher Entrepreneur Challenge. You start gaining some more students. Maybe you already have your own student clientele that you're working with, and you're looking for some materials to work with your students. And so I want to help you today on how to make an impact with your lesson materials, whether they be Fluentize materials or whether they be your own materials or materials that you're getting from other resources. So I'm going to get into that now, and a little bit about me. I touched upon that earlier at the beginning, at the intro of the talk, but I've been teaching English for about 10 years. I got TEFL certified in Prague. And so I built my own private teaching practice here in Prague, teaching mostly adult students, one-to-one conversation-based lessons, some group classes here and there, but mostly focused on the one-to-ones. And yeah, so Fluentize, I launched Fluentize basically out of my own private teaching practice. I was using video a lot in my lessons, and I was making my own materials based on video. So, things like interviews from YouTube, short documentaries from YouTube, maybe commercials, travel guides, clips from TV series, these kinds of things. And I was just making basic activities. The lessons were really basic to start, some conversation discussion topics based on the content of the video, based on the theme itself, and also, covering some of the vocabulary that was present in the video dialogue with the students, helping them to develop their vocabulary, extracting grammar from the dialogue, and then just kind of making my own activities as well, based on those videos. And I started getting some good feedback from my students. You can see I got two of my students here, Martin on the left and Tomasz on the right. And so these were the first students of Fluentize over 4 years ago now. And so, yeah, they gave me really positive feedback on the lessons. I started creating more. I started sharing the lessons with some other teachers here in Prague. And it worked out. The lessons were getting some really positive feedback from both the student and the teacher ends. So I also work as a TEFL course observer here in Prague. It's the same TEFL course that I gained my certification from. So those are kind of my roles right now that I'm balancing and juggling. So next slide here. Let's get into it. So a little bit about Fluentize. So for my users who are already here, you guys know what's going on with Fluentize. But for those of you who are new to it, basically, what we do is we take videos and then we create engaging lesson plans based on videos. And so these are teachers who have teenage or adult students mostly. So we're going to take a look actually at a lesson plan as we get into these tips here. So again, the tips that are going to come forward now are about how you can make an impact on your students using lesson materials. So the first tip that we're going to take a look at here is to make the pieces of your lesson plan connect into each other, right? So that means, when you're starting from the top, you're going to kind of funnel down, you're going to guide your students down, and you're going to make each part of the lesson somehow connect into the previous part. So you're kind of building upon the lesson. You're staying on theme. You're staying on the same topics, and you're not getting too far away from what you originally started with. And so you might be wondering why you're seeing this, for example, this overarching theme on the right about Santa Claus. We're going to take a look at a lesson plan that I recently developed it's a Harvard Santa school. So basically these, you know, these guys, they go and they go to this school for Santas. And it's just a short video about this school, about the people who attend the school, why the school exists for Santa Claus, you know, to become Santa Claus. So, you know, basically, you know, so you're going to start with that theme of Santa Claus. And so we'll get into the lesson plan now. 1 second, let me jump over. James, can you help me out? Can you see the PDF now?
Yes.
Okay, great. You can see here in the lesson plan, you know, the first part here of the preview activity before you watch the video. So you're going to do a comprehensive overview of Santa Claus with the students to kind of activate the schemata, activate the theme for the students, activate their prior knowledge. What do they know about Santa Claus? Covering these different angles here. You can see here his personal qualities, physical appearance, impact on children, pop culture, etc. And then his job and his duties. And so you can see here the next part, you know, we're gonna kind of we're staying on theme. So, you know, you can see how we don't go from Santa Claus to Christmas traditions, you know, even though, you know, there is some loose connection there, we want to still stay on the theme of Santa, right? And so we're going to look at the different activities here. You know, students described basically what they see in the images, what they see Santa Claus doing. So you can see how these parts here are kind of building and funneling into each other. And so these activities here, some of these activities, the students are going to see Santa, you know, the Santa's learning how to do these activities in the actual video, right? So, and then there's going to be a little bit of a prediction here as well. So, you know, the students, of course, as I mentioned a minute ago, the video is going to be about a Santa school that exists in which people learn how to become Santa Claus. So students are going to do some kind of prediction task, and they're going to predict, you know, what could be going on in this school essentially. And so that's the preview task. And then moving on to the video. Unfortunately, we don't have enough time to watch the video, but you'll get the link to it then. And so we're going to just point back to the slides real quick again. Yeah, so basically we're going to think of your lesson plan as a funnel. We're going to narrow down from the overarching theme of Santa Claus, and then we're going to narrow it down into the specific skill at the end is going to be students actually, you know, they pretend they're Santa Claus and they graduate. They have to give some kind of graduation speech from the Santa school using some of the language that they learned in the video. And so why do we do this? Why do we make the lesson plan pieces connect to each other? You know, as you can see, we started with Santa, an overarching theme, and then we narrowed it down to some of the activities he does, and then we narrow it down into a prediction of what they're going to see in the video. And then, of course, in the final task, we'll take a look at it right now. We're going to jump back to the lesson plan. And so after doing the viewing activities, the post-viewing activities, we're going to pretty much keep narrowing down the students into the final task here. And that's going to be a graduation speech task in which they pretend, they imagine that they're Santas at the school, and they give a speech using some of these terms that were in the video, right? So they're using, you know, in the video, we can jump back up to the some of the post-viewing tasks here. So the students are going to hear these specific quotes in the video, right? They're going to hear, for example, from the dean of the school, who talks about why the Santa students, they like to relive their childhood. There's a sense of camaraderie in the school. He hopes that each Santa and Mrs. Claus goes out and spreads the spirit of Christmas, right? So these are some of the language points that they heard in the video that they work on in the post-viewing activity, and then that they're going to use in the final task of the lesson. And again, back to, you know, we're funneling down from overarching theme of Santa Claus into a specific skill that the students are going to gain from the lesson plan. And so here we can see that they're using the different vocabulary that they learned from the video, that they learned in the post-viewing activities, into an actual speech. So we're using some kind of creative activity here for students to be able to use some of that target language that they gained. So yeah, basically you can see there, as mentioned, we're making the lesson pieces connect. We're narrowing the theme, the overarching theme into a specific skill. So The next slide here we'll take a look at is, oh, sorry. Go back. Okay. Tip number 2. And so tip number 2 here is going to be to choose lesson materials or work with materials that have plenty of task variety. So whether you're making the materials yourselves or you're using one of our lessons or somebody else's lessons, you know, try to pick materials that use different tasks. Why? The answer to that is just it helps make the lesson balanced. It helps students work with different types of skills and develop different types of skills. So, you know, for example, in that Santa lesson, you can see here that, you know, we had the mind map, and then we had describing images, and then we had a prediction task. There were comprehension questions. There was a little bit of gap fill. At the end of the lesson, or at the end of the video, students did a reflection where there were discussion questions based on the video. They were working with quotes. We looked at some of those quotes. For example, there's a real sense of camaraderie in the school, and I hope that Mr. and Mrs. Claus go out and spread the spirit of Christmas. So those are actual quotes that were in the video. There was sentence conversion, you know, in the grammar, where there was, we can jump back to it again. Yep, so there was sentence conversion here. So they were working with compound words using present participles. So we can see, yeah, this is the oldest running Santa school in the world. The beard keeping, the toy making, these compound words, and then an activity where students are converting some of these sentences into a sentence in which they're using a compound word, similar to how they were used in the video. So, you know, basically we want, if we're looking at the lesson plan here, each piece you can see is different, each part, right? So we have mind map, we have images, we have a prediction task, we have a comprehension task, comprehension questions. We have students checking their predictions here in part 3. We have a reflection where the students are talking about, you know, what they saw in the video. They're looking at, okay, what would it be like if, you know, if I were saying, what, you know, would I like to attend this school? What do I think about the Santa concept? Then we have the quotes from the actual dean of the Santa school from the video. So these are actual quotes that he said. So, you know, we're kind of looking at, different, different types of activities, and we want to vary the different types of tasks that we're giving students. Again, we just looked at the sentence conversion, and then we have a speech, right? Some kind of creative task. And so this really just helps to give the lesson balance. It helps to help students to develop different kinds of skills. So that's the importance there of making sure that our lessons are varied in the types of tasks that we present. And then, so we're going to take a look at the third here, tip 3. So we want to, even though, you know, if we're using pre-made materials, if we're using some materials that we found from other resources, we still want to make sure that that we're adding our own kind of flavor, our own kinds of ideas to the lessons, and even that we're preparing for these lessons. You know, I know how hard it is to prepare for lessons, and that's why you guys use resources like these, is because you know, we're so pressed on time as teachers to be able to create, you know, high quality materials for our students for each lesson. And so I know it's hard, but even taking 5 to 10 minutes before a lesson, looking at the pre-made materials and saying, what can I do to this? Which activities do I want to take from this? What could I add? What could I add to personalize this lesson for this student? So, you know, if you can take 10 minutes before the lesson, review the lesson plan in detail, you know, and say, you know, maybe you look at the Santa Claus lesson and, you know, you say, oh, well, you know, maybe I can just take, you know, this is going to be a shorter lesson. So, you know, maybe I'll just take a couple of those mind map topics. You know, there were 5 there. Maybe I'll just take 3, you know, and if you're working with the post viewing activity, you say, oh, well, you know, maybe we don't want to focus on this grammar point today of the compound words with the present participles. So we can eliminate that. So, you know, kind of pick the lesson apart before you jump into it with your student. You know, I would advise against just, you know, you can do it with a lot of these materials, just open up the lesson and you go through it with the student. But just to give yourself a little bit of some cushion there before the lesson to give yourself some time to think, okay, what else could I do with this lesson? In the end, it's going to help you connect with your students. It's going to help the overall flow of the lesson. And so another point there is to build upon the language already present in the lesson. And so we can revert back to the lesson plan just to give you an example of that. Let's say that we're looking at, so here we have the part 2 task that we looked at with the images. And so maybe you can say, oh, okay, maybe with this lesson, what I can do is have students come up with their own story using 3 of these images here, about Santa Claus. So it's Christmas Eve, or it's the day before Christmas, whatever. Use 3 of these images to tell the story of what happened with Santa Claus that day. So you can take some of the activities that are already presented to you, and you can kind of adapt them into your own activities, or build upon some of the language that's already there. So for example, looking at this part here with the quotes, maybe you can take this quote here on the right. I hope that each and every Santa and Mrs. Claus goes out and spreads the spirit of Christmas. So maybe you can work with some different verbs that we might use with the word spirit, right? So here we have spread the spirit. Maybe you can use uplift spirits. Maybe you can even do building on that word itself, spiritual. So going through different parts of speech for some of the words that, or some of the vocabulary that are presented in the lessons. So don't be afraid to go into the lessons, add your own kind of vibe to the lesson. Even though the lessons are already prepped for you, you can still kind of take your own ideas to supplement the lesson. The last point there we can see is to make sure to review at the end of the lesson. So, at the end of the lesson, some of these Fluentize lessons, they have a quiz and review at the end where we kind of take that language for you, and there's a quiz and review section. But reviewing really helps to drill in all of the skills that students were working on, some of the vocab that they were working on throughout the lesson. So just don't forget to review things. And again, preparing for pre-made lessons, adding your own twist to the lessons. This is going to help you connect with your students and help them work with some of the language, develop the target language there. The Fluentize lessons you can find here at app.fluentize.com/lessons. Today you can see, this is the Harvard of Santa schools. That's the one that we worked with today. And we do have free lessons for those of you that register on site. You can, once you register, you can download all of the free lessons that we offer. This week we have a couple Christmas ones. We do have one for free this week, the what are you looking for Christmas? So that's a Christmas commercial. So when you sign up, when you register with Fluentize, you'll get access to all of the limited time free lessons and also the permanent free lessons that we have on site. And so today we do have an offer. Me and James have this offer for you that you can get full access to the full lesson library for 25% off. You can scan the QR code there, or you can navigate to app.fluentize.com/exclusive offer. We'll put this in the we'll put this link also in the chat in a minute here, and we'll have this offer valid to the end of the year. That way, if you need time to you want to check out some of the lessons before you before you go on and you take the full access discount offer. If you want to try out some of the lessons, you have some time to try them out, to investigate some of the lessons, see if it's something that would work for you and your students. We'll put that link in the chat for you guys. I want to thank you for your attention today. You can find my contact there. Again, my name is Jake at fluentize.com. You can reach me with any questions, concerns you have, and you can also reach James there with his email, james.liu@boastrategy.com. And so now, James, should we take a couple minutes and we'll take some of the questions that some of the participants might have?
For sure. Yeah, thanks for the presentation. It's very good. I have no experience creating lesson plans, so I always appreciate how thorough you guys are, the teachers are when it comes to creating the lesson plans. It's great. Yeah, Jake, I think you can stop sharing now.
Yep.
Yeah, and any questions, guys? And Jake, if you don't mind, can you share the link with us?
Yep, definitely. I thought I exited the screen share here. One
Mm,
second.
Let me see.
Uh,
I can still see your screen. I can I'm not sure, do you want- okay, I can kick you out. Let me see.
is it better now? We're good?
Yeah, very good. I just kicked you
Okay.
out. Yeah, so there's a question for you, I think. Yeah, if you don't mind sharing the link with us as well, that'd be great.
Yep, I'll put that in the chat right now.
And if you guys have questions for me, when it comes to marketing, let me know. And if you have a question for Jake, definitely ask in the chat.
Yeah, so I actually see one question here from Agnieszka. Sorry if I pronounced that wrong. But she asked here, one question I always ask myself about, what about the intellectual property laws? Can you use any video from the internet for creating your lesson plan? Do you sometimes contact with the people who share the videos? That's a great question. I've been asked that before. And so basically, you know, when we're working with a lesson plan based on a video, the video is, we have the link for the video embedded into the Fluentize platform, basically, you know, so we're not, you know, we're not selling the video. We're not, you know, we're not putting the video behind a paywall. Basically, what we're doing is we're transforming it into something else, right? So this is kind of a for transformative use is the way that we're using the video. And so we do not contact the people who, the actual, you know, creators of the video. And actually, you know, we're actually helping promote their video in some sense. You know, by having by hosting the video, they're still getting the clicks, they're getting the views on their video. So in regard to the intellectual property laws, you know, there's never been any issue with that. You know, that you would have an issue if you, like I said a second ago, if you try to put the video behind a paywall and then have, you know, if I was trying to have users pay to access the video, that would be a no-no. But, you know, for the, you know, basing our materials off of the videos, we're transforming it into something of our own, into our own content. You know, in that regard, we do not need the permission. Never had an issue with that. I know a lot of teachers, there's a lot of other lesson plan resources out there that use video. And so this is kind of also that, you know, this goes with the YouTube guidelines, is that, you know, when we have our videos with the embed links and we're putting them in public, that, you know, we can use these videos on different platforms. We can share these videos and use them for transformative purposes. So, yeah, I hope that answers the question.
And if the videos
James, do you have?
yeah, if the videos are public available, I think the problem there shouldn't be a problem. But if the video is paid, meaning
Right.
you purchased it somewhere, then you use it, then there might be a problem. Okay.
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah. James, did you have it? Were there any questions in the chat for you there?
Let me check.
I didn't see anything there.
Maybe it's because I really explain everything very well, so everybody understands what I said there. And no questions. Let me see. Yeah, any questions for Jake and myself? Please drop in the chat. And we also share the link with you guys. Grab the link. Even if you don't need it right now, grab it. Put it somewhere if you need it in the future. And the 20% discount across the entire Fluentize website, right, Jake?
So it's actually, so it's for full access for 1 year. So basically, with you know, when you pay the $59, you'll unlock all of the materials that are already on site, plus all of the materials that we release within a one-time 1 year time period. So basically, you know, you're going to get, right now we have about 360 lessons plus all of the lessons that we release within 1 year. So that's what the full access will give you.
Yeah, and there's another question for you, Jake.
So, let's see here. Would you approach creating lesson style for your young learners a different way? Good question. Yeah, definitely. Because yeah, these lessons on Fluentize, these are mostly geared for, I would say students that are at least 16 years old or older. And so for younger learners, yeah, if they're yeah, in the preteens, you're going to want to do different things just because it's a different style of teaching. It's a different kind of methodology. It's a different game. Teaching. So when you can of course work with videos for these younger learners, but using lesson plans that are kind of in PDF format with heavy text based or with a lot of images and stuff in this kind of format, discussion based. It can be a challenge. Yeah, but I've also heard of users who have used some of the Fluentize lessons, with example with a 10 or an 11-year-old. So, some of the students can handle it, but we would like to have a young learner section on site. We would like to get that on site at some point. But right now we are specifically focused on the teenagers and adults. Yeah, I think using some video, I think videos can be great for these, younger learners, these preteens. So hopefully we can find a way to get that integrated at some point. So we've got another question here. Sorry, James, I'm gonna just quick take that since we have a minute. Do you have anything that you want to add there, James, or are you good?
That's great. That's great.
So Ashley Gonzalez here asked, do you supplement your lessons with textbook or other curriculum? And are your students mostly intermediate or higher? Do you work with any beginners? So again, another good question here. So supplementing the lessons, yeah, I do with specific curriculum, no. But when I work with, when I'm using these lessons with my own students, often what I'm doing is, I might go, for example, if we're referring back to this lesson plan on Santa Claus, I might go and take some online article, maybe some reviews about the Santa school, and then give them to students to read for homework, maybe some reading activity at home that they can use with that, so you can take other types of resources, whether they're textbook exercises or if they're online articles, and you can take those and work with those with your student. I just mentioned an online article, or maybe you can find some reviews of the Santa school, and also you can adapt those materials for your students, and use it as some kind of homework exercise. Right now I work mostly with intermediate and higher students. That's where most of my experience is. I don't work with any beginners, and also the materials on Fluentize, those are not geared towards beginners. All of our lessons are starting at A2 or above, just due to the nature of real world videos. It's tough to find YouTube content, video content that you can find it that you can use with a complete beginner, but usually those need to be without dialogue. Those are just kind of, it's just visuals, just imagery without the dialogue, because students tend to start interacting with the authentic, with the real world material usually once they're at a pre-intermediate or intermediate level. So that's why, at least on Fluentize, we stay away from the beginner material. So yeah, Jacob here, he wrote, yeah, he would appreciate more lessons for A2 student level. Yeah, thanks, Jacob, for that. We're definitely working on that. The A2 lessons, the A2 videos are really tough to find. And that's connected back to what I just spoke about. It's just harder to find videos that can be, worked with these lower level students, just due to the nature of authentic content with students. And so it can be a challenge. We did just release one of these A2 lessons on the Christmas commercial. We're going to release a couple more on commercials soon. Commercials are great with these A2 students, just because commercials are usually very engaging. There's a little bit of dialogue, not too much. They're usually like 30 seconds to 1 minute, which is, I found the sweet spot for these A2 students. So you can definitely expect some more commercial type A2 lessons coming in the future. So yeah, I think we've covered
I think
just about everything, and we're at 1 hour here. So Yeah, I want to thank everybody again for the awesome participation, these awesome questions. It was such a pleasure to be a part of it and to present with James. James is doing an amazing thing with the Teacher Entrepreneur Challenge. So I definitely encourage everyone to check it out.
Thank you, Jake. Thank you, Jake. Yeah, thanks everyone for spending time with us today. And we're gonna send you the recordings. If you don't receive it, no, definitely reach out to me or Jake. Ask for the copy of it. And if you find what we do helpful, please stay in touch. Stay in touch. And as long as you want to become an independent teacher, want to get your students online, we will be able to help you. I thank you guys very much for joining. I think that's it for today. Yeah, I hope to have another one with you, Jake. And next year in 2023, I will invite you guys back and we can talk about something else and help you guys even more. That being said, thank you very much for joining. I'll see you guys around, okay? Take care, guys.
Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.
Bye, everyone. Bye, Jake. Bye.
Bye, James.
Safe travels, okay, Jake? Bye. Take care.